nature. Here's the big idea. We don't just eat because we're hungry. We also eat for fun, comfort, variety, health, social reasons, and even because of what food companies push on us, right? So knowing these reasons can be the start to help us make better choices and avoid unhealthy habits. So today, we're gonna focus on the 7 types of hunger. We've all been lied to about hunger, right? Like, oh, your stomach's growling and that means you're hungry. Yeah, nah. Most of the time, that's not hunger. It's just your brain out here playing games. What's really happening? Your body's sending signals and your mind is remixing them into let's eat, when food might not even be the answer. The cool part, once I teach you how to spot the differences, you'll stop letting your cravings catfish you, okay? You'll know when your body actually needs fuel and when your mind is just playing tricks on you. All right, okay, so the first type of hunger is nutritional hunger. This right here is the real deal. When your body actually needs fuel, minerals, vitamins, nutrients, it'll call out for it. My niece, let's take her for an example. When she was about 12 or 13 years old, she started craving ice. Just ice all the time. She wanted to eat it, crunch on it, keep a cup by her side like it was her favorite snack. So at first, my sister just kind of shrugged it off, thinking, well, at least it's not candy or chips, right? The thing she hadn't realized just yet were cravings are messages, and constant ice cravings are often a sign of low iron or anemia. Sure enough, when she went to the doctor, they confirmed her iron levels were way too low. Her body wasn't just asking for ice because it needed something cold, it was sending signals the only way it knew how. That's why sometimes you're craving salt or fat. It's not weakness, it's your body trying to balance itself. This is the very reason why I've encouraged you to start taking sea moss. My niece takes a cup a day and her cravings for ice disappeared. Now she tells me all the time, taking sea moss is her favorite time of the day, and she's made it into a ritual. So, not every signal your body sends is about food. The second type of hunger, let's talk about it. Thirst. Dehydration is sneaky. A lot of times, what you think is hunger is really just your body begging for water. Think about this. Our ancestors didn't walk around with hydro flasks and gallon jugs, right? They ate their water. A large part of their livet with fruits and veggies, high water foods. So they stayed hydrated naturally. We're not living like that today. So we've got to be more intentional. That's where key limes and lemon juice in your water comes in. It not only adds flavor, but it helps your body absorb and alkalize the water better, making every sip work harder for you. And since we're modern day humans with busy lives, taking advantage of those cutesy bottles and apps or whatever helps you keep track, because the goal isn't perfection, it's hydration. So of course, you want to make sure that you're drinking spring water for the most part. Here's some quick tricks to try. Drink a glass of water about 30 minutes before eating, especially cooked food. Add fresh key lime or lemon juice to help your body use the water more effectively. Use a reusable water bottle you actually like because you'll tend to drink more if it's with you. Remember, thirst often shows up disguised as hunger. Before you grab a snack, grab some water first and try your best to get in 48 to 64 to 84 ounces minimally. Now, of course, the amount, that just depends on your size. If you are shorter and a smaller person versus a taller or one that has more mass, do what's needed for you. So we've got nutrition and hydration covered, but what happens when your energy literally drops out from under you? That is called number 3, low blood sugar hunger. Now this one shows up as cranky and moody or that hangry feeling, right? Your blood sugar dips and suddenly everything feels like an emergency. Now with that said, I'm not a medical doctor, pure researcher. I never give medical advice, so as always, do what's best for you. I just want you to notice a few things like when this hits, you don't usually reach for a bowl of kale, right? You want sugar, shown in various ways from sweets, but also breads and pastas. Whatever gives you fast fuel. that you're currently used to. Now, this reminds me of a story that I'll never forget. I was about 17 years old playing AAU basketball, and one of my teammates had type 1 diabetes. She was phenomenal, like one of the best in the States. Not better than me, of course, but that's besides the point. She played her heart out every game though. I remember during one of our first games and one of our first timeouts, the coach called us in, but she went past the huddle and straight to her gym bag. And she pulled out a candy bar and devoured it like the candy bar owed her some money or something, right? So at first I thought it was a one-time thing. But then I noticed she had a stash at every game, every practice, and even in her locker. Now, 17-year-old me was thinking, wait, she gets to eat candy bars whenever she's tired? Sign me up. But here's what was really happening inside her body. So when you have type 1 diabetes, your pancreas doesn't make insulin, the hormone that helps move sugar or glucose from your blood into your cells for energy, right? So her blood sugar could drop really low, really fast, especially during intense exercise. That's called hypoglycemia, hypo low, right? And when blood sugar drops, your brain and muscles literally don't have the fuel they need. That's why she looked fine one moment and then urgently needed that candy bar the next. Now, peer-reviewed studies show that during hypoglycemia, the brain releases the stress hormones like epinephrine, which is the adrenaline hormone, right? And also cortisol, which cause shaky hands and dizziness and irritability and even confusion. Right? In athletes, low blood sugar can also impair reaction time, coordination, and even decision making. Obviously, all critical in sports. So the candy bar was her emergency fix because it was full of fast-acting sugar. So research even backs this. The American Diabetes Association recommends 15 to 20 grams of simple carbs like juice, glucose tablets, or yes, even candy, right? What this does, it quickly raises the blood sugar. So that bar was like her lifeline, not just a snack. Fast forward to today though, relying on candy is a risky pattern. Over the long run, it can create a roller coaster of highs and crashes that keep her chasing balance. What could help? Well, peer-reviewed research suggests athletes with type 1 diabetes will benefit from balanced pre-game meals like pairing slow digesting carbs like quinoa, farro, wild rice, lentils, non-starchy type vegetables. Pair those kinds of carbs with proteins that help keep blood sugar steadier during exercise. Now, my preferred protein does not come from an animal. And by the way, who told us the best protein comes from animal meat? Consider the source, always, right? So my preferences for protein are chickpeas, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, etc. Plenty of plant options that are very, very filling. An athlete, or for you that may be in this situation, consider doing glucose monitoring. Now, I personally do not have experience with this, but from some doctors that I respect, like Dr. Von der Wright, she spoke on modern technologies like continuous glucose monitors, or CGMs you may have heard. Those can alert athletes before they crash. But from what I understand, those can be kind of expensive, which again, that's all relative, right? So look it up for yourself and see if that's something that you could benefit from. Also, people can do strategy snacks, right? Quick sugar like fruit, especially berries, blue, black, raspberry, whatever, plus a follow-up of complex carbs from zucchini, pears, oranges, and protein to stabilize levels can all be helpful according to research, right? So the truth is, her candy stash wasn't about fun as I thought. It was about survival. And it showed me early on how much low blood sugar can drive what, when, and how we eat. But obviously, there are much better ways to help with fast fueling. And because type 1 is an autoimmune condition, in my opinion, it can be better managed and possibly reversed with some details to attention. Though that is a case by case, and me and my team would need to work with that individual privately. But not every craving is physical. Some are or straight up emotional. So that brings us to number 4, emotional hunger. This is when food becomes comfort, therapy, or celebration. Stress, boredom, nostalgia, food sneaks in to fill the gap. The question is, are you actually hungry or are you feeding a feeling? Now, emotional hunger is a huge topic, and I dive deep into my book, Fed Up. I believe it's chapter 4, and one of the focused emotions is fear. Now, most of us will straight up think, I don't have no fear. I don't fear anyone but God, right? And on the surface, that may be true. We carry strength, resilience, and courage like it's stitched into our DNA, right? But here's the real talk. Fear doesn't always just show up as running from danger. Sometimes it shows up as hesitating to speak up in a meeting, or keeping quiet at the doctor's office when given a diagnosis or suggestion, or eating to calm the worry that you'll never get married or get your health under control. That's fear too. It just wears a different outfit. So it's an amazing chapter, if I should say so myself. But even when emotions aren't steering the wheel, sometimes it's just our taste buds looking for something new. Incoming number 5, variety hunger. Now, your body was designed for hundreds of different plants and foods, not the same 3 meals on repeat. When we don't get that natural diversity, we end up chasing it in junk food. And when it comes to junk food, suddenly we don't mind variety, right? Flavors, textures, colors, we'll take it all. Now, speaking of colors, let me just say this. Be careful of foods that come in neon red, electric blue, or glowing green. Ain't no food in nature shining like a highlighter, okay? Unless it's something like butterfly pea powder that naturally makes things bluish purplish. Those colors usually come from dyes, and dyes don't love your body back. So that actually reminds me of a student that I had when I was teaching at a university. When we got on the topic of ADHD, and I actually told the class it was a made-up disease, he told me he had ADHD since the 2nd grade, and here he was, a sophomore in college, still swearing by his medicine. But every single class, he walked in with candy in hand. Skittles, M&Ms, gummy bears, you name it. So I finally asked him what he typically ate. After some pushback, he admitted typical college diet, right? Yes, diet, not live it. So I challenged him. No candy for a week. Just try it. Whew. He got so mad. He said, I've been on this medication since the 2nd grade. It's not the candy. And you know what? He wanted to prove me wrong. Next class, he shows up irritated, quiet, and for the first time, no candy in sight. I didn't even bring it up. But here's the twist. About a week later, he drops my class. Now, before you jump to conclusions, his friend who stayed in my class told me what really happened and periodically gave me updates throughout the semester. He actually did the challenge. He cut out the candy, then the sports drinks, then slowly shifted other things too. By the end of the semester, he wasn't relying on the medication anymore. So why did he drop my class? His friend said he felt embarrassed that I had called him out in front of everybody. And I was shocked because that definitely was not my intent. But here's the lesson. This was the first real reminder of how emotionally tied we can be to candy and junk food. It wasn't just the sugar. It was identity. It was comfort. It was a shield. And when you try to take that away, sometimes people get angry. Not because of the food itself, but because of what it represents. So the next time you go to the grocery store, I challenge you to get some of those greens and other veggies that you've never tried before. Look up some plant-based recipes that look good to you and try it out. Next is one of the biggest imposters of them all. Number 6, empty stomach hunger. Your stomach feels hollow and instantly your brain screams, "We're starving!" But here's the truth. An empty stomach doesn't always mean true hunger. Sometimes it's just your system doing what it's designed to do: rest, reset, and repair. I want to be really clear here. An empty stomach and hunger are not the same thing. What happens is this. Most of us are walking around a little malnourished. So when stomach feels empty, we confuse that feeling with hunger. We link the two together, even though they're different. Malnourishment is why I have you starting your day with sea moss, which we've already talked about those benefits, but eating sea moss consistently should keep you from being malnourished because of all the minerals that it contains. If you've ever tried long-term fasting, you probably know what I mean. For me, when I fast, around day 4 or 3 even, something wild happens. Your stomach feels completely empty, but your hunger actually goes away. You'll catch yourself thinking, I should be eating right now, but I'm not even hungry. This is crazy. So for the first time, you actually feel what an empty stomach really is. Not hunger, just empty. I once joined a fasting group where the leader said, we don't even reach true hunger until around day 38 to 42. I don't know the exact source, but as someone who's fasted multiple times, I can honestly see how that might be true. And let me tell you, it's one of the most out-of-body amazing experiences, and also one of the hardest to explain. I might lead a fasting group myself one of these days, or even bring my friend who's guided tons of them, right? If that's something you would want to be interested in, definitely let me know in the locker room, because experiencing it together, even more powerful. And that brings me to number 7, social hunger. Now, this one is closest to my heart because it's actually what I focused on during my PhD residency. The research was called Employing Social Norms to Influence Healthier Choices. If you want to look it up, that is the official title. But let me break it down plain and simple real quick. Social hunger is when we eat just because everyone else is eating. You probably already know where I'm going with this, but let's chat about this together. Birthday cake, holiday dinners, drinks at the club. It's not about fuel, it's about belonging, right? So nobody wants to be the odd one out. And that's why social hunger can be one of the loudest hungers of them all. I talk about a lot of this throughout my book because the people closest to us can sometimes sabotage our desire to eat healthier. Not on purpose, but simply because they're not ready to change. So for example, I had a client who worked in high-level sales for a big company. Part of her job was to wine and dine clients, right? So she wanted to order steamed veggies or a lighter meal, but her clients wanted steak, potatoes, and plenty of drinks. She noticed that if she didn't match their food choices, if she didn't order what they ordered or drank what they drank, the meetings didn't go as well. Because of that, her sales started to slip. At first, I judged her like, yo, just stick to your guns. But then I caught myself because I felt that same pressure too. I remember going out to eat with a friend who was fasting. Now, he didn't tell me that he was fasting at first because he wanted to test his willpower by sitting across from me while I ate. Now, we were at a plant-based restaurant, but it still felt uncomfortable. I know he loves food as much as I do. It's one of the things that we connected on. And sitting there, I found myself not enjoying my meal the same way because he wasn't eating with me. That's the feeling of belongingness at work. And I saw this play out during my study too. Groups of friends would walk in the cafeteria together, and almost every time they'd head toward the same food stations together. Rarely did I see a group split up with one person going for a salad and another person going for pizza and another person going for stir fry and then meeting back up at the same table. That was unusual. Most of the time, they stuck together at the same types of food and reinforced each other's choices. Only every now and then would I spot an independent soul brave enough to break away, get exactly what they wanted, and then return back to the same group. That's belongingness. That's social hunger. It's about more than food. It's about identity, connection, and the fear of standing out. So that's the last hunger type. And if you've been paying attention, you probably noticed some overlap. Certain feelings or cravings showing up in more than one category. That's because the body doesn't always send us just one signal at a time. Sometimes it's craving 2 or 3 hungers all at once.